Welcome to our channel. Should we take seriously the idea that reality is a simulation? Let's try to understand it together. Let's start with an intriguing question. Is reality a simulation? The hypothesis that our world is a simulation within another reality, which in turn could be a simulation, is not new at all. In ancient times, of course, people didn't talk about simulations as we do today, since computers didn't exist. However, they used other powerful metaphors, like that of a dream. Consider the Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi, who wondered whether he was dreaming of being a butterfly or if the butterfly was dreaming of being him. Descartes also reflected on the possibility that all his experiences were just a dream, created by an evil genius to deceive him. These ideas stem from the fact that all our experience of reality is subjective. We have nothing but our sensations and perceptions, and from these, we must deduce the existence of an external world. However, these perceptions could be deceptive, as illustrated in the famous movie, The Matrix. We might simply be connected to a sophisticated machine that creates a virtual reality, kept in a state of induced sleep. Many of Philip K. Dick's novels also explore the difficulty of distinguishing between reality and simulation, or even defining what is real and what is not. We've already touched on something similar in a past video about Boltzmann brains, an idea that, while different, shares with simulation the notion of illusory experiences. Today, with increasingly powerful computers capable of sophisticated simulations, the doubt about living in a simulated reality has resurfaced in new forms. About 20 years ago, the philosopher Nick Bostrom formulated a modern version of the simulation argument in an article titled, "Are you living in a computer simulation?" Bostrom argues that there are only three possibilities, one of which must necessarily be true. 1. No civilization will ever reach the technological level required to simulate an entire reality. 2. When civilizations reach this level of technological development, they decide not to create simulations for reasons unknown to us. 3. The third possibility is that we are already living in a simulation created by someone else. According to Bostrom, one of these possibilities must be true. Moreover, if we ever manage to create simulations advanced enough to contain conscious beings, it would be very likely that we ourselves are characters in a previously created simulation. And since any sufficiently complex simulated reality could in turn create another simulation, the probability of living in a simulation would increase dramatically. Several scientists and communicators, such as Brian Greene and Neil deGrasse Tyson, have taken this possibility seriously, considering it extremely likely. Not long ago, a debate on this topic was held in New York, involving philosophers and scientists, including Richard Matz, known for his studies on consciousness and who recently wrote a book on the subject. Even Elon Musk has stated that he believes it is highly likely that our reality is a simulation, with a probability of not being simulated, according to him, of only 1 in a billion. But what reason do we have to think that this idea is correct compared to the speculations of philosophers from centuries or millennia ago? In reality, none. The problem with the simulation argument is that, by definition, it cannot be scientifically investigated. It's a philosophical idea, not a scientific one. We can discuss it as much as we want, but it won't help us understand reality itself better. So, what's the difference between thinking we're in a simulation and thinking we're the dream of a butterfly? None. There's no concrete reason to consider one hypothesis more probable or plausible than the other, and above all, there's no way to decide if either is correct or if both are wrong. Even any experiments would be part of the simulation itself, making it impossible to get a definitive answer. Some scientists have proposed that we might realize we're in a simulation if we notice anomalies in the behavior of natural laws. However, the simulation hypothesis is not falsifiable. We can't devise a decisive experiment to prove it false, and therefore it's not scientific. Ultimately, thinking that our reality is simulated by a computer is similar to the idea that the world was created by a deity. Neither hypothesis is a better scientific explanation of reality, and both do not allow us to make concrete progress in understanding the world. In the end, even if we were living in a simulation, We could never prove it because we can't escape the program. In the face of radical skepticism, as Descartes said, there is no defense. We can doubt everything, even our own perceptions, but this would lead us into a dead end. And in the end, whether reality is simulated or not wouldn't make much difference. From a scientific perspective, all we could investigate would be the simulation itself. As for me, the simulation argument falls into the category of useless and sterile discussions that do not help us better understand the world or live better. It might be interesting to talk about, but it won't take us anywhere. And as Philip K. Dick said, reality is that which, when you stop believing in it, doesn't go away. Thanks for watching. Leave a like to support us and subscribe to the channel.